Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Thinking Bigger. I'm here with Cheryl Nelson, and it is On Point Business Administration, the name of your company.
Correct.
Cheryl and her company are foundational partners for Thinking Bigger, so we're so glad to have you be a part of our team. We're excited. I've got the new magazine. It just came out.
I'm very excited to see it. Thank you.
So it's real. I say that because we've been working on this for 6 or 8 months now. So it's exciting to see everything actually starting to happen and
Right.
everything coming to fruition. So
And congratulations to you and
thank
Phil.
you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very exciting. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is creating content on the digital side as well, just to let everybody know. So that'll be through podcasting, through these videos, also on the print side, but a lot of SEO and things like that. So we're excited to be able to do that. So we'll talk about a little more about what your plans are in the future. But first, let's start by just tell us what you do. You have a unique background to be in the business that you're in, but tell us what that is business-wise, and then tell us about your background.
Okay, sure. My partner, my business partner, Bob Marsh and I, were business lawyers and served as outside general counsel for companies of all sizes for many, many years. And in that role, we were very passionate about helping businesses become healthy and thriving organizations. But over the decades of serving in that role, we also ran into too many business owners who were frustrated and overwhelmed by everything that was involved in running their business. So everything behind the scenes, the routine, ordinary work that needed to be done to run your business.
That's the stuff I hate in a way, just
Well,
so you
I'm
know.
a business owner too, and so I don't like all of that stuff either. And so what the business owners were saying oftentimes is, why does running my business get in the way of doing business? And that resonated with us. And so what was happening many times, and I'm not really speaking about our clients so much as just generally business owners, is that the back office and the business administration details that were a necessary part of running their business successfully and efficiently weren't getting done. Now, sometimes they were getting done, but that meant that the business owner was putting aside the income generating activities, right, that were keeping the business alive.
Yeah.
Other times, the work wasn't getting done, and it wasn't because the business owner didn't care, but it was more likely because they didn't have the skills that they needed to do whatever needed to be done, or to know what needed to be done, or they just didn't have the time to do the work. And so that led to many sleepless nights because things were falling through the cracks. And so from time to time, the business owners, they might call us as their outside general counsel and ask for our help on things that didn't require legal expertise. And of course, we were happy to help because we didn't want those things to fall through the cracks for them. But it became clear to us that business owners just needed a different resource, not a lawyer necessarily, to help with the business administration and back office details that needed to be attended to. And so that's how On Point was born. So we've taken off our lawyer hats. We've put them aside. We're just working with clients on a business-to-business level, which has been fun. And a very different change than what we've been used to over the last 25 plus years. And so I think being able to serve the business owners in that capacity creates a little bit of a different discussion with them because we are non-lawyers. So I think when the business owners understand that they can have our expertise on hand in areas like governance and risk management and compliance and contracts administration and record keeping, all of that stuff, they just feel a little bit relieved because they can then focus on growth and revenue generation. So that's what we bring to the table, and we're getting some great feedback.
You know, one of the things where my mind goes in all of this, as a creative person, I got into this business because I wanted to do creative things. And then now all of a sudden you have HR issues, you have, contracts that you have to have put together, all the things that really a creative person doesn't really like doing. I've learned how to do that, but sometimes I wonder if there's, I don't know what I don't know,
That's exactly right.
and am I making mistakes that could really impact my family, the business, I mean, the viability of the business? That's a scary thought.
It is scary, and I don't mean to say it lightly when it does lead to sleepless nights. And I suppose I suppose sometimes ignorance can be bliss,
Yeah.
but most of the time not, because you do have this feeling that you're missing something or that something is slipping through the cracks. Um, and and so I think it's important for business owners to just be able to take a deep breath, step back, and realize that either they know that there are things they don't know that maybe they need help with, or at least understanding what the risks are if they choose to not deal with um, deal with those issues.
Yeah.
But to also be able to recognize that even if they had enough time, even if they did know everything that needed to be done, are they really good at, skilled in all of those areas?
Right.
Um, and do they even like to do that kind of thing? I mean,
No.
right. So you're a creative guy
Yeah.
and you might not mind QuickBooks and, paying bills or doing payroll. Um, but are you really proficient at it? Probably not. And
Yeah.
so couldn't you be using that time um, to, work with clients on creative and things that are kind of more productive and revenue generating and for you? So,
Yeah, I love the thought of having somebody that's keeping up with, things change so fast in business and small business specifically, even on the regulatory side and, things that are happening. I love the idea of having somebody that's kind of helping you stay on top of those things.
right. And I think that, part of what business owners need to be thinking about um, is doing an analysis of the risks that their business faces.
Right.
And then you will get a better appreciation for what the risks are, and then you can work with the experts in the area to figure out how you manage those risks. You're never going to eliminate every risk if you're a business owner.
Yeah.
But you can certainly identify what they are, identify what the impact is going to be on your business if something does go wrong, and figure out how you can best manage those risks. And then implement your risk management program. And then at least you know that you've been thoughtful about it and that you've prioritized uh, what the tools are that you want to implement in a way that makes sense for your business.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about what's a program look like for a small business working with your firm? Is it, I should say firm, but what would that look like? What would how would we engage?
Our preference
Yeah.
would be for us to be all in. And what I mean by that is that if we can come into the business, sit down with the business owners or the leadership team for a couple of hours, do a mini assessment of where the business is today and maybe where it wants to be in the future and where the gaps are. Then we would prioritize over a 12-month engagement, perhaps. Sometimes that doesn't work out for everybody, but a 12-month engagement, perhaps, where we just start filling in those gaps, whether it's
It
filling
takes
in.
time to do that, right? You can't just,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right. And you do have to prioritize, and the priorities differ based on where the business is, in their life phase, in the kinds of transactions that are on the horizon. But overall, the focus is just what do we need to do to get your business in order, to get your ducks in a row. And if you are getting ready to apply for commercial financing arrangements, let's think ahead about what the bank's going to expect, because the bank's going to do their due diligence.
Yeah.
So, you want to put your best foot forward when you're applying for your loan. And when the bank starts asking for documents, where are your contracts with your 10 biggest customers that we're going to be, taking a security interest in, right? You want to be able to prove up those contracts in a timely fashion. So that may be one scenario where the focus is then on, okay, contracts administration, let's make sure that you've got your house in order there. Or with business owners who might be looking to sell in the next year or two. Let's look at getting your business in order kind of in all areas.
Getting prepared for that.
Getting prepared for that, because if your ducks are in the row, chances are that's going to maximize the value of your business, and the business owners are going to see a greater return on their investment. So the priorities differ based on where the business is in their life cycle and what their priorities are. But we'd like to be all in because we feel like we can add the most value to that, as opposed to one-off projects, which we do. But we like to be all in.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, that would be the way to have the most impact, I would imagine, where you're actually able to control some other aspects of the business at the same time. So that makes a lot of sense. So tell me, moving forward, with thinking bigger, from a content standpoint, what are your plans for content over the next 12 months? What can people be looking forward to learning?
Well, I think the overall theme is going to be along the lines of getting your ducks in the row and thinking bigger, if I might borrow the phrase. I think that small businesses, because they are overwhelmed, should maybe think bigger and take care of business like big business might take care of business.
Right.
So our topic or our theme throughout the year is going to be based on that. So what are the kinds of areas that small businesses should be focusing on if they want to grow up and be big business?
Yeah, right.
Sorry, one day. And so areas like corporate governance, compliance, risk management. Those are the areas that we're going to be focusing on, because there is heavy risk if you don't pay attention in those areas. And it goes without saying that big businesses are paying attention in those areas. To the extent that you have things relatively under control in those areas, I think then business owners are going to feel like they can really invest their time and their resources in growing their business, in paying attention to soft things like taking care of their people, the biggest asset that they have. And so that'll be the theme. And I hope we can make it fun and interesting for the readers.
Yeah, well, we need to learn these things. That's the thing. I'm excited about it because I know there's things that I'm going to learn. It's probably going to be a little scary sometimes because I'm going to read that content and go, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
I assume that, but if you really truly want to be successful, those are the things that you need to know. So it's exciting.
Power is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So it's easy, I think, for myself included, for business owners to just, again, ignorance is bliss, and I don't need to know everything that I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can then make informed decisions based on that knowledge. So hopefully that's what we accomplish, is just to educate the small business owners on how to think like big business, and then be successful from there.
Now, does somebody get a duck when they meet with you?
That's a great idea.
I mean, you need to have a.
I
you
should
need to
probably
be
hire
handy.
you as a marketing consultant.
I know somebody.
That is a great idea. I love
That's
it.
awesome. Well, how would we engage with you? So, if somebody is interested in talking to you, what would be the process for getting in touch with you?
Well, we do have a website, of course, so you can learn more there at OnPoint TCB, which stands for Taking Care of Business. So onpointtcb.com. You can connect with us there. You can get on our calendar that way through Calendly, or just pick up the phone and give us a call. We're happy to engage in whatever way works best for small business owners. We appreciate that small business owners have a limited amount of time, so we're open to any sort of conversation
Yeah.
in whatever way makes sense.
Well, that's awesome. Cheryl, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of the foundational team. We're really excited that we've got such a great group of people and businesses that really want to kind of resurrect the brand and thinking bigger. And so we're glad to have you guys on board with us.
Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Thanks for joining us.